repeat of the last sentence, may thy majesty order the holy ram to be placed on his throne. Then did his majesty think like the god Thoth. He thought over by himself of the plan regarding king of royal animals and came to this decision. There should be placed next to the divine ram images of a portrait of the queen, Arisone, holding in her hand an ear of corn, and the holy animals should be known thereby, by the symbol of life on their necks for the lord of the country. And his majesty commanded that these deities should be led in procession to the city of Mendes by the hand of the prophets who had devoted themselves to them, and the captains of the warriors, Nephami, of his majesty, were to be in their suit and complete all the presented customs, just as his majesty would do from that moment. And he would embrace the animal as soon as it had taken its place on its father's throne. It was on the 16th of the month Mechir when these deities entered the city Mendes and consecrated prophets. His majesty's grandees and the captains of the Nephami warriors were in their suits, and they filled all the customs prescribed in the sanctuary of the holy ram. After this occurrence happened on the 18th month of Mechir, the fete of the transfer of the edifice took place in his temple, and they remained united there with him for 4 days. And the city of Mendes solemnized her new birth, and Anep was in festive adornment. Its inhabitants were jubilant, and all the hearts were overflowing with song. The Mendes mead was full of ecstasy, and jubilant were all the inhabitants there, crying out, the city of Mendes is born again. May the holy ram of God, of all gods, recompense what his majesty has done by prolonging his years as king for a long period. May the divine Horus improve all the kingdom which is placed under his name. May his son take the throne to all eternity. May destruction never find an entrance thither, since the king has on the God believed. Mechir is the 6th month of the year, the Julian month of April. It's the 4th month. And this is the time of the ram in the sky that was overlooked by the Jews. Does that make sense to anyone? You seeing these dates over here? Now, here's the stele. Let's see if we can, it won't let me get a picture of it. Why am I showing you this? Because Mendes, the domain of the ram lord Djet, okay? And here's the symbol of hieroglyphics in Djet. Let's see if I can get that pulled up for you. Huh. It won't let me. Let's see if we can go here. There's your Djet. Pillar, an ancient Egyptian symbol meaning stability, is the symbolic backbone of the god Osiris. Was a pillar-like symbol that represented stability. So they took down the 2 pillars. See here? They took down the 2 pillars and put up the 1 pillar, the Djed Tower. We got them all over the South. They don't have them here. Why am I showing you this? Because we've been given Baphomet. Okay, this is the goat of Mendes. 1 hand above, 1 below, and here are the 2 children. In the old steles, this is a ram, and the children are chained to his throne. Okay, why am I showing you this? This is a movie called Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. And this is your goat of Mendes, who they're showing you is really the ram. And he's like the devil. He's got the devil's tail and everything, and he's come for the children. And he takes the children. That's the same thing we're seeing in the other, but they represent him here as he truly is. You can see his cloven hoofs. He's full-blown Satan, bat wings. He's got the forked tail, but he's got the ram's horns. We've been lied to about this goat of Mendes. It is definitely a ram. Ram's horns. Now, we have to dodge the ram. You have to dodge the bullet. Baphomet This is the history of Baphomet, meaning absorption of knowledge, from Baphomet, which is not correct. Other authors claim it to be a corruption of Mahomet or Muhammad, but the first definition seems to be more accurate. Baphomet has its origin in the goat of Mendes. Wrong. Baphomet was also one of the aliases of Aleister Crowley. Baphomet has also been called the goat of Mendes and the black goat. Wrong. Of course, they got this part right. Fertility, the magnum opus of alchemy. When one energies from the Kundalini increase, spiritual alchemy is of ancient Egypt, and it's the transformation of the human soul into Godhead. This is the completing our Creator, God, Satan's work. The most famous historical account of Baphomet began with the Knights Templar. The Baphomet at the time of the Templars was believed to be an idol represented by a human skull, a stuffed human head with metal or wooden head with curly black hair, or sometimes a black cat. The idol was said to be worshipped by the Knights Templar in their latter days as the source of fertility and wealth. The Knights Templar, also known as the Poor Knights of Christ, was founded in the year 1118 by Hugh de Payne of Champagne, France. The order began with 9 or 11 men who were sent to the Holy Land to dig beneath the Temple of Solomon, not the Temple of God, the Temple of Solomon, for several European families of wealth who had claim to certain artifacts buried there before it was destroyed in the year 70 of the Common Era. The order took on the oath of asceticism, celibacy, devotion to the Catholic Church, and poverty. They were forbidden ownership of any personal property. Any wealth acquired by the order was to be shared in common. When excavating beneath the temple, the Knights discovered gold, ancient relics, and also many scrolls. Shortly thereafter, magnificent cathedrals and other buildings began to spring up all over Europe. Most of the Goetic or Gothic demons are known for their expertise in architecture. They are legends claiming many bridges and buildings in Europe were built by Satan and his demons. The true meaning of the word Temple of Solomon is the temple of the sun, sol, on. All of these words for the sun. Sol is the Latin word for the sun and is close to the English word soul. Is the name given by the Hindus to the spiritual sun, and On is an Egyptian word for sun. The symbolism of the Temple of Solomon was stolen and made into an actual character, as with the fictitious Nazarene and nearly everything in Judeo-Christian Bible. For more information, the Templars were actually appointed to protect the Holy Land and keep it from Muslims during the wars of the Crusades. The order grew into thousands, and groups were organized throughout Europe, but France remained their stronghold. And you can see their sigil. And you can come here and read this for yourself. History of Baphomet at angelfire.com. Now, back to this stele. And this man of sin. 2 Thessalonians 2, and the apostle spake of the rise of the man of sin, who would sin in the temple of God, showing himself to be God, and exalting himself into the place of Christ on earth. This man of sin was already revealed hundreds of years ago during the great Protestant Reformation, but because of blindness to the truth and deceptions of Satan, the mainstream Christian churches have all pretty much rejected the great truths that God revealed during the Reformation, so we will reveal them again for those who have eyes to see. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself as God. That happened here. That's what we just got through talking about. Now, when we talk about what dynasties had them, this was the Ptolemies, who loved the ram. Ptolemy was Greek, okay? This is the Lord of the city of Mendes, the great God, the life of the generator, the prince of the young women, the only God, the original male power of the gods of men, who revealed himself in the region of light with 4 heads. The region of lights is the heavens. The 4 heads are the 4 that were shown in the zodiac. He's the god of the zodiac. And this is what we're shown. This is not Egyptian. This is Ptolemaios, Greek, the divine ram, the portrait of him who dwells in the region of light, the divine efflux of the prolific ram. Now over here we're told, how did he make this statement? That he would not tell us why. Now, the reasons why those of the Egyptians who I mentioned do not sacrifice the goats, male or female, is this. The Mendes count Pan to be one of the in-light gods. Now, these 8 gods, they say, came into being before the 12 gods. The 8 gods were the planets, the 12 gods were the constellation. And the painters and image makers represent painting and in sculpture and in figure of Pan, just as the Hellenists, okay, this word didn't even come into being till 300 A.D., who do with goat's face and legs, not supposing him to be really like that, but this to be resemble the other gods, the cause, however, by when they represent him in the form I prefer not to say. Why do they represent? I prefer not to say. Because a small goat is a kid, and that's why they sacrifice the children. But a ram has a lamb. A baby ram is a lamb. Ram, banded jet, an early fertility god. Since the Old Kingdom, ram have been kept at Mendes and buried in Hypogeum, an underground burial site. In Greco-Roman times, the animal cults became more popular than ever. And this is Ptolemy II. It has nothing to do with even Egypt. This is Ptolemy. This is Egyptian after Alexander the Great. I cannot tell you how this is all being pulled over us. Okay? What they're actually doing between this guy and this guy. They're the same being. Wings, horns, as above, so below, the caduceus, the 2 children on either side. You can just go through them. It's all there. It's the same thing. But it's a ram, not a goat. And he cannot tell us why, because it would have cost him his life to reveal this guy. And now this movie, Childhood's End, it was taken off the air. It hasn't been on in a while. And now it is coming back December the 14th, just in time for Christmas. And notice the skyline. What do you see and what do you not see? I'll leave a link to Richie of Boston's video where this goat of Mendes is being revealed. It's been being revealed. This is what they call the Luciferian doctrine. This is inverted. This man of sin, that day shall not come to the man of sin be revealed. You can go do your, go do your homework. These elite of Europe that have caused all of this to come back, all of this that has been buried and hidden for thousands of years, they've repainted it, redone it, and they are actually setting up the ceremonies as we speak. I've given it to you. Do with it what thou wilt. It's all the same.